Well, I apologize for being a little washed out here, but I got a light coming down so I can see what in the heck I am doing because tonight we are painting. Hello, crafters. Big D here with some of my heresy wolves, a bunch of paints, and a cup of water. Yeah. Cup of water. A high-tech, handy, super high-tech palette, and a bunch of painted figures. Commodore, how are you, my brother? How are you, sir? So, trying to get some light on and trying to get some painting done because, there is nothing going on in the world of Warhammer right now. It's kind of funny. Data Slate came down a couple weeks ago, and then Nuffin came down, and everybody's kind of like, there's balance. Weirdly, probably since just before Drukhari came out last spring, there's balance. Everybody's kind of even. Everybody's kind of fair. It's all kind of just there right now. Yeah, I mean, there was that interesting thing that GW put out the new rules on Melee, and WTC went, we have our own rules for this that's much more elegant than this crap, so we are not following this rule. WTC, we don't play WTC here in the area. We're more of an ITC area, and they haven't said anything yet. WTC is very prevalent, though, in the East Coast and in Europe. Mr. Chavez, Tina Raven, good to see you all. Good to see everyone. So, they had this big reveal this weekend, and I got to tell you, that was the most disappointing big reveal I have ever had. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, there's other stuff we're going to talk about, because we're going to talk about Angron and all that stuff and what happened there, but all right, what's on the bench? Let's just start it off like normal. What's on the bench? I have 10 Gray Stalkers, along with a pair of the 30K equivalent of lieutenants. No, I actually have one lieutenant that is a librarian. And then I have Gagor the Fell-Handed, who is a full-blown captain equivalent in 30K. Praetor Legionnaire with the librarian sub-spec. Although he's not a librarian specifically, he is a Master of Runes, the Space Wolf specific version, because we don't like no psychers in the wolves. Well, you know what? Okay, so that's what we're working on right now. That's on the bench. That's what we're painting. The grays are all done. The shading's all done, and now we're just on to do the details. You know, I mean, okay, we're gonna go right there. Fine, we're gonna go there. The most disappointing thing, they give all this hype. They show off the little walker, the little scout vehicle. They show off the little eyeball thing. They talk about it, and they make clear this is a Space Hulk. They said they did everything except hey guys, look, it's a Space Hulk, and everybody was like, yay, Space Hulk, this will be awesome. And then somebody noted, oh look, there's an Imperium eye on the side of this thing. What are they going to put in there? Well, it's a Space Hulk. So Gene Stealers, that would make sense. Gene Stealers, that's who Space Hulk's about. We're like, oh, this will be great. Who would they fight? That's Imperium. Is that the Inquisition? Could it be Tempestus Scions with the guard coming down? That'd be cool. Could it be Death Watch? It could be Death Watch. They just did Marines. Are they going to do Death Watch right now? Could we actually see Terminators and make this new version of Kill Team Space Hulk, and we actually get Gene Stealers and Terminators, and everybody's we're all so excited. We're all so excited. And then they reveal the first half as the Imperial Navy. And we were like, that's weird, but I'm still into that. That's cool. They're a cool looking army. That's great. That's cool. Okay, so it's Gene Stealers versus Imperial Navy Armsmen. Okay, it's Kroot. What? Kroot? Kroot? Okay, hands up. Everybody who was expecting Kroot. Yeah, like I said. Kroot. I'm a Tau player. I have a fairly large Tau army. I have a couple units of Kroot. Yeah. Kroot. Any army. I mean, they could have put Gene Stealers. That would have been great. They could have put the Imperial Navy guys. I'm cool with that. That's cool. It makes sense that they're on a Space Hulk. Okay, fine. Cool. They could have put Gene Stealers who haven't gotten a release yet. They've done Eldar. They could have put Drukari on there because they haven't gotten a Kill Team release yet. They could have put Necrons. Don't know why they would, but they could have put Necrons in there. Kroot. They put Kroot on a Space Hulk against Voidsman. I'm going to be wrapping my head around that one for a long time. I heard a lot of people over in the Reddit sub forum for Tau going, we're going to get new Kroot models. And even they couldn't maintain a sustained level of excitement. They're like, it's Kroot. There's so many armies that couldn't be that don't have representation. Pathfinders have an army already. So Tau have an army for there already. I don't get it. I don't get it. Moving on. So they showed a new group for Underworlds, which is what we were expecting. They look good. The models always look You're not wrong, Commodore. I mean, that's the big thing. People know Lady D works at a game store. The Sisters of Battle Novitiates versus the Pathfinders box, which probably, to my opinion, to this point, has the best terrain of any Kill Team kit they've released with the new Kill Team. They have so many extra copies of that Kill Team set that they are selling them at like a 30% discount just to get them out of the store because they have so many of them. They're almost to the point where I'm tempted to buy one because I'd pay the same just to get the terrain. And look, I get some extra figures out of it. They've got a chance. They had an opportunity. Yeah, they've got them. They've got them less than that even. I think they're even less than that at this point. They are, if they're not, they're like I said, they're 30% off. They're really down there. Same to be said for Black Templar, which GW overhyped, and Dominion, which GW super overhyped. It's personally the best terrain kit I think they've done. I'm one of my favorite. Tog, how do you do it? No, we're good. We just got started. So they have this opportunity. They're doing the ship version. Now, they did the ship edition in the last version, which was Gellerpox Infected versus the Eldar, what do you call it? Pirate dudes, Corsairs, which I thought was, yeah, it's a 30% discount. You say, yes, I do. Yeah. That box set was really good. Yeah. Franklin has them. The one in Mech 1 has a pile of them stacked up on their side that's 4 deep and high enough that it's shoulder high to me. Ben! Now, speaking of Kill Team, my buddy Ben keeps trying to get me to come out on Friday night for Kill Team. And unfortunately, he's doing it at the he's doing it at Games Workshop. That's not far from my work, but I don't get off until 5 to 5:30, so I'd only be able to get in like maybe an hour and a half of play, which is the main reason I don't pop by. Shit, I can't get to it. You got pieces done. I'll put them up on Instagram tonight as soon as we're out of here. I just can't get to them because I got a pile of things in between me and them. But God, I forgot it. No, I've literally, but seriously, Commodore, I've got pieces done for you. They were back there drying, and now I've got stuff in between me and them. So I'll put them up on Instagram later tonight so y'all can see them. I have finished a portion of it. You know, Ben, it's one of those things. I just don't have enough time to play that. I want to come back and just go home, or Fridays are bad for me. Like, because the fact that GW closes so early. Like, if they opened, yeah, I've got, like I said, dude, you're going to love them. You're going to love them. They look really good. If GW was open to say like 8 instead of 7, I'd be all about going there on a Friday afternoon or a Friday night after work and go and play for a couple hours. That'd be great. But to go there for like an hour, I mean, I'd rather just, if I'm going to come, I'm going to show them, to hang out with you guys and talk to you. But for Kill Team, I just, considering I haven't played it enough yet, I just think that's enough time to actually play. Son, you are wrong. You are so wrong, Kirschbaum. You are unbelievably wrong. And I can say that because every Wednesday night, we go and play Warhammer 30K, Horus Heresy 2.0, up at GU Mech 1. And last week we finally rolled dice. Now, admittedly, that's kind of funny to say it that way, but we've been spending the last couple of weeks because we just got the box sets. we've been building and painting and building and painting. And finally last week, we're like, all right, we got enough figures painted. Let's try and play a game. So we had 4 people there. We set up 2 armies, 2 guys playing, and the other 2 of us sitting there with books going, okay, what's this rule mean? What's this rule mean? And we sat there kibitzing with rules, looking up rules for each other so we could just keep the game kind of going, and got through a couple of rounds of the game. And I've got to say, and this is going to sound awful, but it was the most fun I had playing Warhammer in my life, I think. And I didn't roll any dice because I wasn't the player. I was there with a book looking up rules. But we had a blast. I mean, it was a good time. Art was there. Art was there, and he was playing his Imperial Fists, and he played against Big Luke, who was playing Sons of Horus. And we had a good time. I mean, we sat there with books looking up rules. What's this do? How's this work? What's this do? How's this work? What's sweeping advance? Well, and we just had a blast, and it was a good freaking time. It was really, really, really fun. So we all learned a lot. We're doing the same thing this week. I think this week I'm playing. The 2 of us that didn't play last week, we're going to play this week. And this week, both Art and Luke are going to be on book duty. So that's why I'm trying to get some of these guys quickly finished up. Yeah, just come by. Even if you just come by for a little bit and just to watch the game, dude, it's so much fun. When the game is designed to be played with a full table worth of figures, it goes pretty quick. It's really interesting. Like, it was fun, dude. It's a fun game. It's so thematic and story driven. It was a hoot. It was a real hoot. I loved it. You know what, Ben? I'll even make it up to you. I will come this Friday. I will set a note for myself, and I will come this Friday. I can't come this Friday. Well, I can come this Friday for a little bit because Shannon's working Friday night. So I will come. I will stay there, and then I'll go to Shannon where she's working that night. You know, Kirsch, I'm hearing excuses out of you. Yeah. Ben, I will be there Friday. I promise. I will come. So, as I said last week, I am so far behind on Imperium, I just really can't even catch up. And I'm finding that because the UK is like 30 issues ahead of where we are in the States, there's not a lot of point in me doing reveals. So I'm kind of letting Imperium go away. It's also like my worst performing video series. Like, nobody cares. So I'm just going to kind of show off as I get Imperium stuff here and there. And I have to show it off because Ben will understand my new package of Imperium has an official GW plug. And because I have a few figures that I actually would use with the base on them already, I'm going to be using it to paint Gagor Fellhand. Ta-da! Oh, yeah, you win the bet. Yeah, no, you don't win the bet. We're going to call this a draw because I didn't buy this. It was a gift. I swore I would never buy one because I have these. The other thing I got, though, because I am a premium member, I got my first premium kit. Look at that timing. Chaos Space Marines just dropped a Codex. And look what I get in here. I get some Chaos Space Marines. I get a whole bunch of Chaos Space Marines. I actually get 10 Chaos Space Marines, 2 Greater Possessed, and the plastic Chaos Sorcerer kit and instructions for them. Plus a bunch more Necron stuff. There we go. We are still here. Here we are. All right. So yeah. So what you'll see Imperium stuff on here. I mean, I also got some canisters, and since I have so many canisters, I actually built these 2, put the guns on them, and glued them together. So it's just it's not getting painted anytime soon, but I was in a mode the other day, and needed to work out some stress, so I was building. Nothing for any of my friends to worry about. I'm in a good space. I was just having a day where I needed to just build. So I did. I built a bunch of shit. I built a lot of stuff that day. I needed to get out of some space upstairs. So I went into that and just built a bunch of stuff. Less plastic around the house, unbuilt, more plastic ready to be painted when I'm done with Commodore's kit. The only thing I'm working on is my Space Wolves in the interim because I need them. All right. So then what else we get? We got, we talked about Kill Team. We talked about Underworlds. Like I said, they got an Underworlds team they showed off. It looked really cool. It's got like a Witch Hunter type character. Looks like he's got a hound and he's got a dude with an axe. So he looks pretty cool. I like Underworlds. I have a couple box sets for it. I have like 10 teams. I enjoy the game. I think me, Ben, and Tina are like the only 3 that actually enjoy it and play it. So, and I know one other person that does, but I don't see him very often. So, and that says something, getting on how often I actually see Ben and Tina. So then the other thing they showed off was some more stuff from the Necromunda, the bike, the orc bike that actually they're using for Goliath. That bike screams, take off my head, put on an orc head. Look, I've got an orc mega boss or an orc war boss on a trike. Because that's what that bike looks like. Necromunda is now fully into vehicles. I don't know how I feel about this. Necromunda is supposed to be squad-based skirmish, gangs, and low-end crap, and now they've got full-on Mad Max semi-rigs and bikes and dudes jumping around on giant cockroaches and ticks. I miss you too, Ben. I really do. I don't say that jokingly. I mean that, dude. I do miss you. I miss you and Tina. You two are really great. You guys are great to me. You guys are great for me. And I love playing with you guys. So, they keep releasing cool stuff for Necromunda. And yet I still don't know a single freaking person that plays Necromunda. So I can just look at it and go, that's really cool. Necromunda's place in the ecosystem is confusing for me. Okay, well, this is what I know about Necromunda because I have the old Necromunda, and the base concept of Necromunda, what niche it fills, is still there. And the niche it fills, the niche, English, big D. The niche it fills is a unique niche within Warhammer products. The thing about what Necromunda is, though, Kill Team is a let's drop some dice and play a quick skirmish game set in a sci-fi setting. Warcry is let's drop some dice and play a quick skirmish game in our fantasy setting. Necromunda is let's build a campaign where characters and gangs level up as they have more fights, as they gain experience. They gain experience points, they get levels, they get special bonuses, they become specialists. Think of it like you played Kill Team, except you don't have any specialists. You don't have any special weapons. You start off with all your dudes are stock dudes with guns. You might, depending on your faction, have a or two people, your leader, and one person on your team that starts off with a special weapon that is unique to your army. For example, in the Escher gang, the girls, they are backed by a bunch of chemical unions. So one of their characters they can take to start off with is a gunner that carries a flamer, but it doesn't shoot flames. It sprays a toxic chemical blast that makes a lingering cloud and does damage and does toxin damage and stuff like that. Their leader has a shock whip. Kinda. It like I said, I used to play the old version, and it's kind of cool. But again, you've got the thing about Necromunda is the same thing. And let me get into it. Let me first finish what this whole thing is. So you start with your gang. You get your basic gang. You got your basic gangers. You have your leader, and then you have one specialist type. And that's your army to start off with. As you fight in the Hive City, your characters gain XP depending on what they do in the game. If one of your characters got a kill blow on somebody, they get XP. If they were the one that flipped the objective, they get XP. If they did specific things according to whatever the mission was, they get XP. As they get XP, they can level up. Usually takes a couple missions, but after they level up, you can start doing things like swapping out a small gun for a better gun, or swapping out for better armor, or becoming a specialist that can take special gear. So the idea is that you've got this gang, and as you play them, you get XP for them, and you level them up. And your gang has a power rating based on how many XP you've earned. So if you want to play a game against somebody else, you can both look at what your power rating is. I don't think it's called power rating. I forget. I think it's called influence. But they've got like a rating, and you can look at the two numbers and go, okay, you need to add this many more points to your army, and we can play evenly, or I'm going to take this many point deficit. There's ways you can get around it. But basically, you play in a campaign setting. The idea for Necromunda really is that you have 4 to 6 dedicated players, and you play on a regular basis. And you're all playing different gangs. And as you play, you're leveling up, and you're kind of playing everybody back and forth at an even number. So you're all gaining XP at an even rate. And the idea is there's a campaign, and you set like a campaign with a rating, like this is the influence rating you are when you win this campaign. Now this is going by the old Necromunda rules. And I keep doing this because my Necromunda 95 is right there on the shelf. So the idea behind Necromunda is that you're running around with these gangs, scrabbling out for survival to get the top of the food chain in your... Yeah, and it is very much a Mad Max vibe to it, except the original game takes place in the bowels of the Undercity of Necromunda. You're basically trying to survive, and it was rife for kit bashing because in the old version, like terrain mattered. Like you couldn't just nobody had flight. You had to have ladders. You had to have ways to crawl up things, and line of sight was direct. You had people that had to have laser pointers and stuff at one point to actually because you would have like I'm on this ledge here and I'm on this railing here, and can you see me? Get a laser pointer. Yeah, I can see you from there. And it was really about building these crazy terrain layouts and fighting over them. And it was really fun because elevation mattered. Like if I was in melee combat and I was above you in elevation, I got bonuses. And it was all kinds of like fighting for the high ground. There was also ways to ambush and sneak out. So there's lots of interesting sub rules in the game. But again, it was all about fighting as gangs in the hives, in the undercity, in the zone mortalis underneath a necromunda. So it's this niche game that you're kind of a role-playing game war game. Kind of like Crusade is for 40K, but with a much smaller number of guys. So that's the niche it's supposed to be. And the little bit I've seen the rules, that's still the main niche it's supposed to fit. The problem is now they've finally expanded the game. The new version of Necromunda has outlived the old version release era of the original Necromunda. Because the original Necromunda, I want to say it came out in like 94, 95. It's referred to as Necromunda 95 a lot of times. So it's just, I think 95 is when the main release came out. Outlanders, which was the second release, the big release, came out 2 years later in 97. And I think by 2000, there was no more official support for Necromunda. I think it lasted like 4 years. I have seen people play Aeronautica. Ben can tell you a lot about Aeronautica because he actually really likes the game. And I've heard really good things about it. It's just not my style of game. The game was pretty much designed to fight like, or to operate in the same genre as say X-Wing or the ship game that the ship games that Star Wars do, and there's a couple other games that they're using fighter craft and whatnot, and that's kind of the niche that's supposed to be in. The figures really, really appeal to me for Aeronautica. But again, Ben's the only person I know that plays it. And Armada, that's the other one. Yeah. So X-Wing and Armada, although Armada is more of a bigger ship style. So Armada is technically more like Battlefleet Gothic, but Battlefleet Gothic's been dead for 15 years. Which is a damn shame, because that's another really good game that at its height, I can honestly say I knew of at least 20, 30 people that had Battlefleet Gothic armies. It was such a popular game when it was up and around. It really, really plays well. Battlefleet Gothic is a solid, solid game. I know if you talk to Ben is more than happy to show anybody how to play Aeronautica. I know he loves the game a lot. He's mentioned a couple times how much he really loves that game. I gotta give GW credit. Being honest, they don't have a lot of bad games. All of their little sub games are pretty gosh darn good. I mean, I've fooled around now some with Cursed City. That is a solid board game. That is a solid and fun board game. It's built on the Warhammer Quest engine, and the Warhammer Quest engine's been around for a bit, and it is a good game engine for good replayability. The original Warhammer Quest Silver Tower, I can't even call it the original one. The one that people know about in recent years. Warhammer Quest has been around for years, but Silver Tower was when they relaunched it, and it's a solid game. I've played it. A buddy of mine had a copy of it. We played it. Solid game. I mean, everybody knows about Blackstone Fortress, which is crazy because you can still buy the base copy of Blackstone Fortress. You just can't find the expansions anywhere. And And I'm really tempted because GW started re-releasing Blackstone Fortress. I'm wondering, are they going to re-release the supplements for it? I'm tempted to pick up a copy of Blackstone Fortress. It's a fun game built on that same engine. If it plays the same way that Quest does, that's a solid game. Battlefleet Gothic was a solid game. There was a period of time in the early to mid 90s where Epic, 40K Epic, was more popular than 40K was. 40K Epic, which is their mass sweeping scale battles, is a great game. I mean, I only played a few games of it, but it was a lot of fun. I had a Dwarven army. I had a Marine army. I had a buddy of mine that had 2 armies. I was constantly playing his Eldar army. It's solid game. Just good, big scale, little bitty figure game. Yes. Okay. Straight up. Any of the Warhammer quests. So, Silver Tower, Blackstone Fortress, and Cursed City. Those are board games. They are Warhammer adjacent. They're a board game. So they are completely, I mean, if you got a friend that likes board games, especially if they're one of those people that likes what are called legacy board games, where you play the game and you play like the first round through, and then, okay, we mark this, and now the next game has changes to it based on what we did in the first game. Pandemic's done that recently. There's a couple other game systems that have done this legacy type thing. Cursed City is the same thing. It's like every mission leads to the next mission, and the mission, every game is a little bit different mission, same mechanics, but you're trying to get different things done. And it's a board game, but if you do something in one mission, it can carry on to the next mission. So, speaking of which, I'm just going to say it. Obi-Wan is freaking awesome. Man, freaking Disney Plus is amazing. I have been drinking up so much Disney Plus lately. It's crazy. Superfly, my man. How are you, sir? Let me quick go over here. Yeah, dude, Obi-Wan, and especially now they're talking about a second season for Obi-Wan. That'd be interesting to see how they're going to do with second season. Book of Boba Fett was really good. Really good. I was not sure how much I was going to like Book of Boba Fett, and in the end, I really like the show. Yeah, I can't wait for Miss Marvel's finale tomorrow. That is going to be amazing. I've also been watching a lot of Amazon Prime Video because I have Amazon Prime. I get free video, and I just finished watching The Boys season 3. If you like The Boys, the season's awesome. If you don't have a strong stomach, I don't suggest you watch it because there's a lot. Man, yeah, The Boys is awesome. The Boys is awesome. Yeah, dude, season 3 was, man, season 3 was like, I mean, if you thought season 1 was big and season 2 was over the top, season 3 is like, oh man. Yeah, Miss Marvel's been crazy. It's been such a good show. Miss Marvel, such a good show. Just shocking how good that show is. Considering the lead this is her first time acting. This is her first acting gig. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm really surprised by how much I love that show. And I can't wait for She-Hulk. That looks hilarious. Looking forward to that. What else? I I know I'm forgetting something, and I remember what it was because I said it twice. I didn't go back to it. Warcry. Oh my goodness. Warcry. That's the other thing they released. Warcry is getting its refresh. It's getting Warcry 2.0. Warcry in Gur. I love that the Savage world in Age of Sigmar is literally called Gur. Grr. Yeah, so it's not spelled that way, but just look, it's the land of savage things. What's it called? Grr. All right, hang on. Somebody got paid really well for that idea. I got to give them credit. So it's an all new starter set with all new symbols, all new figures, all new terrain. I'm wondering how much the rules are going to change. I really want it, but at the same time, I'm really hesitant. I'm really hesitant to drop back into Warcry just because I haven't had time to play it since like the first month it came out. Like the first month it came out, we played it like every week for like, I want to say like a month, maybe even 2 months. We played like every week. We were loving that game. It's a fun, quick, simple, silly but fun strategic game, and you get a game in like 45 minutes to an hour and boom, done. And that was great. I gotta say that Warcry was really good for that. And that was 2 years ago. Now I know that we lost basically a year and a half in there. It was almost 3 years ago, gosh. We lost a year and a half in there to COVID. And so that's a real it's a real hard buffer in the middle of it all. To have that buffer in the middle of a game. I still like the game. I'm wondering how much the rules are going to change. The same kind of thing happened to Kill Team. I was really getting into Kill Team, like hardcore getting into Kill Team. And then COVID happened. And then when COVID was finalizing up, we got a new edition of rules. And the worst thing about it was we had a new edition of the rules right after they released their last box set. Like it was only like a couple of months after a box set that was supposed to be a big new box set. Oh no, here's a whole new edition, all new rules. Yeah, come on. You gave me a box set that I can't even freaking use. Oh yeah, we all know doom, 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 doom. So I'm freaking pissed, honestly. And they released the new version, but the new version looks so slick, and it looks so fun, and it looks so tactical, and it's more streamlined, and it's more like Warcry, which is what I thought Kill Team should have been more like, instead of just being 40K with the rules squinched down. So I'm okay with it. I'm actually really okay with it. And I like the fact that it's really reliant on having just a packed border terrain, because you guys know how much I love terrain. I love terrain. And I'm really looking forward to this new box set that's going to be inside of a freaking Space Hulk. That sounds awesome to me. Again, the whole terrain thing is one of the reasons why I want to get in Necromunda, because their base set is freaking Sector Mortalis. Or Zone Mortalis. It's like, oh, I love Zone Mortalis. I've always loved Zone Mortalis. I would love to do a 30K fight in a Zone Mortalis. That's a lot of fun. But damn, you know? Like, I can get a box set of terrain for Necromunda that doesn't involve figures. It's just Zone Mortalis sets. And I think it's like a total of like 5 total sets. It's like a $300 box set. I know a place that has it. And it's just Zone Mortalis just packed in there. It's got like, I want to say it's 3 sets of the pillars and walls and 3 sets of the ramps and platforms. And I'm really thought about picking it up later this year if it's still there. Keep coming back to Necromunda because it looks really cool. And that's the thing that's got me kind of into where I'm at. And this is where I'm at mentally. And this is kind of a weird thing because I'm going to have a couple of people here who know me kind of look at me and go, I've been playing a lot less competitive styled 40K lately. I'm still playing. Don't get me wrong. I'm still playing. But like, I'm not trying to build killer lists. I'm trying to build lists that aren't a theme or more fun lists. And I'm playing against competitive players. I'm getting murdered. But then I played 30K the other day, and I was looking at how to build an army and how to theme an army up. And I'm looking at my ridiculous army, and I'm like, this is going to be hilarious. I'm going to run into a tank and not be able to do a damn thing about it. But other than a tank, there will be nothing left on the board because my guys will just sweep over and chop everything into bits. Yeah, and that's the thing. It should be a really nice twist. And the other reason I want to get is because when I do my narrative thing, I want to do a 40K Zone Mortalis fight with some interesting Zone Mortalis rules. Apply the 30K Zone Mortalis rules to a 40K army, meaning no vehicles that are baseless and nothing bigger than a 60 millimeter base. And if it can't fit through a door frame, it can't fit through a door frame. So if something's got a 60 millimeter base, it's in a hallway and that's it. It's an interesting take. So it's one of the reasons I want to get that Zone Mortalis kit. If not, there's some thought to actually, because I know where there's a printable version of the Zone Mortalis kits. There's some thought about getting a PLA printer because you can get them pretty, broadsides would work. And you can't fly over terrain, so flight doesn't really mean much because there's a ceiling. You're in a cramped space. It's all about the angles you get on people. So I've been thinking about, instead of spending a $300 on a kit, spending $200 on a PLA printer and just start printing Zone Mortalis pieces. Just print. And just continuously, if it's not running, get the next one going. Just continuously print Zone Mortalis pieces. So that is a thought that is in my head right now. Again, not something I can contemplate till we get the studio. As you can see, some stuff's starting to get packed up here. Sort of prepping to do this swap still, but we're getting closer. I'm not done. I don't want to say the word I'm done with competitive 40K. I still love it. But I kind of like the idea of the more story-driven stuff and maybe help run, go back to just, maybe not play so much in the competitive stuff, but help run those events, help admin and TO those events, and really focus my playtime on stuff that's more narrative and fun and less pressure. Pressure is an important point about it. The only pressure on it is the pressure from myself, and I know that. But I don't know. I'm kind of looking at it from a different perspective right now. So nothing bad, nothing to worry about, gang. Just, again, me just kind of looking at things and reprioritizing what I want to spend my time, money, and effort on. Call me a weirdo. But, I eventually want to get through all this plastic and be done with building and painting it and actually play some more games and play more focus on playing them than building and painting. get some of these unfinished projects off the bench. I was going to paint tonight. That is not happening. That is the beauty of me having you guys as my friends. Even though here we are, 6 people in my show, and only 3 of you think I'm entertaining enough to give me a thumbs up. I'm hurt. I'm injured. No, it's all good. If it helps out the channel, it helps me out. It lets YouTube try and shove people my way. But the reality is that I am recognizing that I am the epitome of a small-time niche YouTuber. I have some interesting takes. I do get some views after the fact of people tooling around and looking at my stuff. But the reality is that I am a niche guy that if I get that next 10 subscribers, so I crest the 700, that's probably my peak. I don't see me actually getting to 1,000 anytime in the next couple of years, unless I start producing like major content. And I'm okay with that because that was never my goal, never my dream. My dream is just to kind of spread the joy and maybe some news and rumors and maybe help somebody along the way. So let's talk about news and rumors. What else is new? Oh my gosh. So let's preface this. There have been so many leaks over the last year and a half, and GW has been tearing their hair out over these leaks. Photos of books, photos of cards, photos of figures, release schedules, timing of schedules, rules. People have been leaking stuff left and right, and it is driving GW nuts. To the point where a week or two ago, they basically let their entirety of, I don't know if it's an entirety, but a really large majority of their out-of-house playtesters go. Like, no, we're done. Because they have determined that is the source of their leaks, are these playtesters that are seeing stuff 3 months before release dates. I am not going to deny that playtesters were a source of leaks. I know, because one of the playtesters is a friend of mine, and that was where I was getting some of my leaks that I was talking about. But I was specifically talking about yes, this is a confirmed leak. No, this is not a confirmed leak. I wouldn't pass specific information along. That was what he requested me. I did the same thing he did. How that's going to affect balancing? It's a damn good question. That is a damn good question. Now, I want to point out, the playtester that was confirming stuff for me is one of my 3 sources. I have 3 sources for leaks. And part of it just comes from me being in the industry, being in the gaming industry. The guy that was playtesting, that was confirming leaks for me, I don't know him through Warhammer. I just found out, he plays Warhammer too. I know him from the days that I used to work at Games Workshop. I used to work at Wizards of the Coast, and he's a friend of a friend. And I got to know him that way because he was a friend of a good friend of mine there, and we got to know each other there. And it just so happens he has a YouTube channel and he does play testing, and it just was friend of a friend, and we got to know each other. And he wouldn't give me specific information, but when I would get leaks, I would ask him, and he'd be like, I can confirm that. I won't confirm that. I can confirm that. I can confirm that's not true. That was the limit of what he would give me. He was not the one leaking certain things. He was merely confirming other leaks or disconfirming other leaks. 6 1 half dozen of the other. My other 2 sources of leaks, neither one of them are playtesters for GW. So I think them getting rid of their play testers was a bit heavy-handed. The interesting point that one of my two sources there's no way GW can do anything about him. As long as they don't know who he is, there's nothing they can do about him because of the job he does. He has access because of what his job is. That being said, I think it was pretty heavy-handed. I don't think they should have fired everybody, but they did what they did. They're trying to protect their IP. They're trying to keep their hype up for the releases. Although I don't think they realized that all leaks did was build up more hype. But they have been aggressively trying to curb-tail leaks. Sunday night, a really terrible grainy picture from either the Codex the Codex Astra Militarum or the Codex World Eaters book got leaked. That, in every codex, there's that big 2-page spread where they show the armies fighting. And from the look of the picture, it looks like it's a bunch of Cadians and Angron. Now, the way the picture's laid out, it makes it look like Angron is on the edge of one of the pages. So I honestly think this is more of a leak from the Astra Militarum book. They just happen to be using the World Eaters as the bad guys in that fight picture. But somebody caught that was Angron in that picture and got a blurry camera phone picture of it and threw it up. And it is burning up. It was all over Reddit. It was all over Instagram. It was all over every single leak board. It was on Bolter and Chainsword. It was all over the place. Gosh, it was everywhere. It was on the Chans. It has just been everywhere. And it blew up. And GW the next day was like, shit. Angron is not pleased about this terrible quality picture running around of him. And then they showed off the clean picture of him. So they were aware of the leak and they responded to the leak about they were like, oh, damn it. And you could tell there was somebody who's worked in the marketing department of a gaming company, like I did when I worked at Wizards. I could tell that was manager just going, okay, we're going to have to polish this turd and make something positive out of this. Because Angron was going to be their big ta-da for the year. That was their big, this is it type of figure. Ben, I absolutely agree with you. I think that's what they leaned into. I think they realized that if they just let it fester, it actually creates negative press for them. So they might as well just say, fine, screw it. Screw your leak. We're just going to take that. We're going to take the buzz and immediately jump on it. I absolutely agree with you on that one. Angron was going to be their big announcement release for the year. Look, we're finally doing Angron. Although everybody already knew they were going to be doing Angron because of the leaks from a year ago. I get to say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. Because not only did I mention this figure is coming out in 2022 about a year ago, I told you they're going to reveal it probably during the middle to the end of summer. The idea was that they were going to reveal it when they revealed the guard stuff. So, yeah, they were... I already knew about Angron. I knew about it. It had been confirmed by 2 of my 3 sources that had this information. Yeah, Angron's coming in 2022. I love the figure. I think it looks amazing. If I played World Eaters or was even slightly interested in playing World Eaters, I'd be salivating to get my hands on this figure. World Eaters aren't my jam, though. So I'm glad for the guys that are getting it. I think he looks amazing. I think he's a gorgeous looking figure. I think he's just absolutely gorgeous. I think his head's a little more rectangular than it should be. I think in art that they've shown in like comics and in just official art where they'd kind of shown glimpses of him, his face, his jaw is a little bit more angular. Like he's more like triangular with I think they could have made his head a little better, but I still think it's still an amazing, amazing figure. Do I think it's on par with Magnus the Red and Mortarion? Yeah. I'm biased. The Magnus the Red figure to me is cool, but it's not all that. It's an okay figure. It's a big dude, and that's all there is really to it. He's just a big dude. Does he look cool? Yeah, he's freaking cool as hell. But he's basically just a giant dude with a huge amount of hair holding a staff. I mean, he's okay. Mortarion is freaking gorgeous. Lots of detail, lots of stuff going on there. Really good figure. I think Angron definitely moves into being in that par. I still think I got to agree with a couple people that I think Be'lakor is still a better looking figure. I still think Be'lakor is probably the best looking figure they've done in that size so far. I think Be'lakor is better than any of the other than maybe the 2 dragons they did for Age of Sigmar this last year. I think Be'lakor is still one of the best big figures they've done. But 40K specifically, Teclis is a good figure. And that's the thing. Age of Sigmar does big figures really good. Specifically for 40K, they don't do a lot of really big figures. So I would definitely put Mortarion as probably like number 1 or 2 with Be'lakor. I'd say the 2 of them pretty much vie for the spot as the really best looking figure. I think right below them, I would say the Silent King is next, because I just think that's a gorgeous, gorgeous diorama looking figure for 40K. And then you've got, I would say, Angron next, and then maybe, Magnus the Red after that. And then pretty much everything else after that just kind of falls away because it's not that stunning. It's like vehicles, Yeah, I mean, Be'lakor is such a gorgeous figure. It's so hard. But I mean, if you've actually built and paint Mortarion, that figure is phenomenal. That is such a gorgeous figure. So him and Be'lakor to me are like this. They're just both gorgeous, big, detailed, lots of little details, lots of flavor figure. And I think, like I said, I think the Silent King is right behind them. And I think Angron's behind that, and then Magnus the Red's down at the bottom there. And that's not saying Magnus the Red's bad. He's got a lot of competition from a lot of better figures that have come out. Oh, God, Avatar Kane, that's the other big one. Yeah, I would say Avatar. Yeah, I would put him and Angron in that same level. Great, amazing figure. Gosh, yeah, that is a really good figure. I still think the Silent King still is ahead of that, but I think still, I mean, that's almost in that competition there. But the Avatar King, yeah, that's another big figure that is gorgeous. That is another. And as you can see, as they get newer, like the first one he did was Magnus the Red, and he was kind of like, he's cool. And at the time, he was cool because he was the only big guy there was around. And as they've done more, I think they just went so over the top with, in my opinion, I admit part of it can be the bias because I really love Nurgle, but I think they went so over the top with everything they did for Mortarion Other figures are kind of trying to catch up to that level, and I think the Silent King definitely does it. I would say, yeah, actually, the Avatar Arcane is up there. I think if I got a better view of, say, Angron, to get a better like side view and middle view of him, maybe I'd feel the same way. But it's interesting because he's in this crouched, like hunched, crouched pose, and I think that limits him. It makes his pose different, which I like, than the other big guys, because a lot of the big guys are just doing this. They're variations on a slightly off from center T pose. And so that's cool. I want to see him. I want to see him built to get a better close look at him. But yeah, the Avatar Arcane. That's a very good point. That Avatar Arcane is a gorgeous, gorgeous figure. But I mean, Shan's like this close to being done on the Bella course she's painting, and that thing is just. Every time she goes in and touches another set of details on that thing, I just look at that figure and go, oh, I want that figure. Oh, do I want it to play it? Oh, I don't know. I kind of do. So he's cool. I don't have one, so I'm not going to worry about him, but man, is he cool. So yeah, they just leaned into it and said, yeah, there's Bellacore. I mean, here's Angron. Yeah, screw it. We're not going to go with him. I think if they jump on that with their other leaks, if they just kind of passively acknowledge them and just blow past them, I don't think they realized how hype the community is for leaks. That should tell them something about their product. And this is why when I look at people that try to bash GW and how bad their game is, it's like, you can say that. You can say it all you want how bad their game is. But do you notice the thousands of people, the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands of people that are chomping at the bit for any piece of news? Easily 50,000 hits. You put out something with a bleak of news, and you've got an actual, like a screenshot or a picture, you go put on Reddit, you'll have in an hour, you'll have 20,000 hits. That doesn't seem like a lot overall, but you're talking about a niche hobby. Warhammer isn't the biggest game in the world. It's not the biggest competitive game in the world. They're not the biggest game company in the world. There is a number of games, a number of competitive games, a number of tabletop games that are far more popular than they are. Sometimes we in the hobby have a hard time recognizing because we are in that hobby, so we're in that zone. There are people who are not gamers that know what Magic the Gathering is. There are people who are gamers. There are people who are gamers that only kind of know what 40K is. So you can take that however you want. So what's next? What's next coming down the pipe? Well, demons. They showed off the demon cover because everybody knows it's coming now. So demons, here we come. It is really hard for me excited about demons getting a codex. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think personally, and this is a personal opinion, and I recognize it's a personal opinion, I think demons are the most boring army in 40K. Straight up. They're the most boring army in 40K. And that should say something because in Age of Sigmar, I love demons. Because they've got more flavor to them. They've got more to them. Demons as an army in 40K is boring as hell. I honestly think demons should be more relegated to, I'm playing Space Marines and I've got a detachment of demons I run with me. I'm running Chaos and I've got demons that run with me. Or I've got demons I summon. Demons should be part of the army. They shouldn't be the entire army. That is my personal opinion. That is completely my own personal opinion, but I stand by it. I think demons as a pure faction are boring as hell in the lore and the realm of 40K. I'm hoping, but the problem is the way that they've built the lore behind demons is that, first off, demons don't work together. You shouldn't be able to play all 4 demons together. They don't get along. They actively hate each other. They actively dislike each other. Like, Tzeentch and Khorne are completely the complete antithesis to each other. Yeah, Be'lakor specifically, the demon prince of all 4 demons, the first prince, the guy that is literally the demon prince of Chaos United, he makes them work underneath him. But that's a specific ability of Be'lakor, and that makes sense. But like, I've seen demon armies, especially like in early 9th and late 8th, where, okay, I'm gonna run 2 Bloodthirsters and a Keeper of Secrets for my 3 HQs, and I'm gonna run some Plague Bearers for my troop slots, and I'm gonna run some whatever's, and just they're just running all these different demons running, and demons don't get along like that. Like, specifically like Nurgle and Slaanesh, they don't like each other. They just don't like each other. And that's the thing. Like, the idea of using Be'lakor and you're playing Be'lakor and you're uniting a bunch of demons underneath him because he's that much of a badass. That makes sense. And for us old dudes, Chaos and 40K should be Marines, with them having demons that are coming along with them, or some demons they could summon. That's what I think demons should be. Now, the fact that they gave them their own book, okay, fine, whatever. That's what you're going to do. That's what they're going to do. Fine. I don't like it. I won't play it. I don't care if it's the most tip-top best army in the game. And don't get me wrong, I love Slaaneshi demons. I've got thousands of points of Slaaneshi demons because I love Slaaneshi demons so much. And I've got a couple thousand points of Nurgle demons. And in 40K, I just can't see running a pure demons army. Just something about it just kind of gets me. I don't like it. No, sir, don't like it. Not one bit. Not at all. No, sir. And that's me. But that's the whole thing. I don't judge anybody that does. I really don't judge anybody that does. But, like, it's not my jam. It's not my jam. It's not my view of the world. And I recognize me being silly because, nobody's playing the game wrong. It's not right for me. So, but I'm also the opinion no one should play Tzeentch because I hate Tzeentch. I just think he's the dumbest guy. Secrets. Whatever, dude. Shut up. The other problem with all demon armies in 40K, because they don't have the human components like they have in Age of Sigmar, they look super samey. They're just like, it's the same figure. It's the same figure in another configuration. There's like 15 figures, and I'm going to do 2,000 points of those 15 figures. Well, maybe it's this figure riding on a chariot, or this figure riding on a beast, or this figure running down the path, or this figure with a special whip because it's an HQ, but it's the same damn figure figure 15,000 times, unless you're Zinch, and then no two figures look the same, and you're like, what is this? Or they're corn, and you just take basically red paint, blob it up, and go, it's an army. I just need blood and skulls. I can take blood, skulls, and it's an army. Typical Fenrisian. Let me explain something to you, Kirschbaum. There are two kinds of Marines. There are the Space Wolves, and then there are lesser chapters. A lot more to talk about tonight than I thought I did. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. So this weekend in West Bend, Warp Storm. Oh, my man. So I'm talking about this weekend in West Bend, Warp Storm will be having its July RTT 20 tables. I actually was in West Bend this past weekend. I popped up there to get a look at the new space. Oh my gosh. It's huge. It is a massive space. I was shocked at how big their space was. So, wow, that is going to be great to play up there. I'm glad to see they're doing so well up there. Support your local gaming store. It's really nice. They got a lot of work to get it up to like looking like tip-top store, because there's a lot of like open empty space. They just don't have shelves and facilities for yet. But the gaming area is massive, dude. It looks good. It looks good. It really does. Support your local gaming store, everybody. Support your local independent gaming store. Yes, it's nice to buy stuff at Warhammer when you can, because they'll have it in stock, or they can order it for you and have it later. That's nice. But that's money that goes back to their corporation and doesn't remain in the local area. Local gaming stores are the lifeblood of this hobby, because these are mom and pop family shops that people run, that employ people in the area, multiple employees, to keep gaming alive in the area. And it is vital to our hobby to have multiple spaces. It is interesting to find out. Like, I'm really in the 30K right now. Games Universe is the only shop that's supporting it right now. Like, it's a brand new game edition. Like, you'd think everybody would be on it. Battle Brothers, there's a couple of people that play it there, but it's not really supported there very well. Not a lot of people talking about it there. GW, I mean, it's their new flagship game, and they're not trying to get events there. But then again, they really don't ever try to get events there. It's like people just meet there to game. And Factlandia is knee-deep in 40K, which I'm really happy for. And they want to get some other games and other events going. But, I mean, they're a smaller venue, to be honest. And that's the thing. You say it seems like a side game, like it's always been, but it's on the front page in its own category on the GW site. It's getting first and foremost production. It's a primary game system now. It's going to be, if you've, again, one of my people that's a leaker is able to get me kind of the ideas of production schedules. I can't go into specifics but I can tell you that this game, the 30K, over the next year, you're going to see as aggressive a production schedule for new models, new kits, new sets, as we saw when 8th edition came out for 40K. They are wanting to push this as a full-time, full-blown, full game system. It's one of their 3 systems. And the word is, the reason they're trying to push as much of it off onto Games Workshop proper is to move all of it to, as much as they can, to plastic and make just the smallest parts of it resin, so that Forge World can turn their attention to Warhammer the Old World. So that is the impetus behind moving this to an all-plastic 40K version of the game, or Warhammer version of the game, in that they need to free up the production space. That's a good sign. If you really like the old world and you like the old version of Warhammer Fantasy, this is the herald of that coming. We haven't seen updates on it in a while. I would expect we're going to see some updates on it this fall. You know how they normally have their big fall release and Spoiler Town preview show. We're going to probably see some news this fall, like October, on the new world or the old world. So, that being said, we are closing up on the 10 o'clock hour. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. I thank you so much. I thank you for those thumbs up. Those of you that are my regular subscribers, thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Ring that bell. Make sure you know when we do these shows, because we're going to be trying to add some more production times in here. I'm very thankful for all of you so much. I'm especially thankful to my patrons. I want to thank Joe Bookish, Jim Brown, Inquisitor Zane, Greg Tesh, Minnie Warmutt, Mithros Kushranada, and then especially my 2 top tier patrons, the lovely Pirate Phoenix and the ever amazing painter, gamer, and friend that is the Commodore. I want to thank all of you for your help and your standing by me and just being here for me and letting me rant at you for an hour and a half every week. I love these Taco Tuesdays. I love these little chats we have. I love you guys. Listen to the shit I have to say. It comes out of my mind. That comes from me knowing a little bit and being a little bit of everywhere all over the world and just musing and doing what I do. So thank you again so much for being with me tonight. I look forward to seeing you in the future. I look forward to gaming with you in the future. And remember, there's never a bad time to pick up some dice and roll them. So make game happen and game on, my friends.